Hey Duncan bro, what's up man? Duncanbro10 bro. I'm gonna tell you about my build. How you been doing? Dude, my build it it's kind of a hybrid, but I'll give you the sum of it. These are my stats right here. Okay, so this is what I usually use. My favorite weapon for PvE, which is like your basic enemies, like boss battles and stuff like that, would be the Dragon Tooth. The reason for that is because of this attack right here. Not that, it's a parry, but I'm messing up. This right here is so useful. Hold on, I'll take you to an enemy that'll actually be a good example. Okay, I'm back. So, this attack right here, it pancakes your opponent, and if you time it, you get a second pancake. So basically, this is like, the reason why this weapon is incredible is because when you're wearing the Tesladora armor set, this armor set has no defense at all. So you really want a weapon that if you can get that first hit, they're basically a free kill. And that's really, really fantastic for getting your souls up and keeping you alive as long as possible. So, like literally, if I just land that initial hit, it's a free dub. And then sometimes you can hit two enemies with it. Like right here, they're both dead. That's over with. Now, what I love to use, I love to use dark infusions. I'll explain why a dark infused weapon is far superior than lightning infusions and fire infusions and magic infusions. So you got lightning infusions, which are like a lightning washing pole at +10. This is useful, it is strong, but the problem with lightning is it only scales with your faith. But dark actually will get a scaling off of faith and intelligence. So dark actually breaks the numbers a little bit. Dark will actually get a higher damage calculus than you would with lightning. Let me show this to you real quick. So I got a dark dragon tooth. This weapon hits unbelievably hard. The scaling for it is also very strong. A dark dragon tooth at +5 smacks so hard, and it has a B parameter bonus in strength and a B parameter bonus in dark. The B parameter bonus is a 75% boost off of that specific stat. An A parameter bonus is 100%, S is a 140% increase. So this weapon hits unbelievably hard, but let's look at the AR for it. The AR for it is 766. If I switch it to a lightning infusion, that will go down. I'll go ahead and switch it to a lightning infusion. Infuse. There we go. If I switch it, so it was 766 prior. Let's go ahead and make it lightning. Thank you. Now, surprisingly, it is, hold up, it is the exact same, 766. I am very surprised by that. I am very surprised. But it's kind of a 50-50, because some enemies in the game have a very high lightning defense, and some have a very high fire defense, and then some have an incredibly high magic defense. But in my experience, you're not going to really come across a lot of enemies with a high dark defense. It's just not really common. Like if you're fighting Nashandra at the end of the game, obviously she's going to have tons of dark defense. But typically dark is super effective, like amazing. So dark infused weapons, in my opinion, are far superior. But I mean, it's kind of, every enemy is a little bit different. But what I used to do is I used to power stance dragon tooths. And I need to get back to doing that, to be honest with you. I haven't done that in a long time. So, besides using dark infused weapons, I love the Slumbering Dragon Crest shield. This shield increases stamina. It's very lightweight, and I mainly love it because of its cosmetic appearance. Like, it just looks so swagger. And it's very small. It's not a big eyesore when you're walking with it. I love this shield. This shield's great. It does increase stamina recovery. And if you actually do need to block something, it will get the job done. Now, the strongest buffs in the game are pretty much what I use, which is Sacred Oath, which increases defensive parameters and offensive parameters, which is very strong. Now, I used to watch this dude melt bosses on YouTube, and he would use Resonant Weapon. This is a Hex. It's a weapon buff. It is more powerful than Dark Weapon. I believe it is more powerful. And Sunlight Blade really, it's good. Sunlight Blade is strong, but the thing is, though, if you're running Dark, like I typically use, you don't want your weapon to do... You don't want your buff to be lightning oriented and then your weapon infusion be dark oriented. Because what you're going to be doing there is you're going to be doing a three-way split damage. So before your damage calculus goes to your opponent's health bar, you're going to calculate, if you're doing lightning and dark and physical, the damage will be calculated after it's filtered through 3 variables of defense. So you really don't want that. You really want it all concentrated into one. If you could just have all of it concentrated into physical, then you just go through a physical filter and then hit the health bar. But having an infusion is okay. You just don't want to make it lightning, dark, and then physical. You really want it to just be 2 damage outputs. That way you're going through as little filter as possible through the armor, and you're really hitting that HP bar and you're really doing a lot of damage. So I prefer to use a Resonant Weapon on a dark infused weapon. That tends to be the most effective in my experience. It does depend on what you're fighting, though. It does that is a variable. Now, the best chime in the game is your Dark Chime of Want, which you need Nashandra's Soul to craft, and I have it dark infused at +5. That's literally the best dark chime for Resonant Weapon, the Hex, that I have knowledge of. I typically wear like the Teslador set, but I mean, honestly, I kind of rotate. I always like to wear a headpiece that does something though, like the Hexer's Hood or, you know, Ivory King Crown. I mean, it's kind of hard to pick good armor, like something that you like to look at, and also something that does, you know, something really useful, you know. It's kind of challenging to do that. But I typically, now the way I built my character, I didn't just like grind. I did grind, but the way I did it, I tried to be intelligent about it. So whenever I started, I picked a sorcerer. That way, and I got the Teslador set, and my gift was a bonfire aesthetic. That way I could re-kill the beginning boss in the game and then farm souls. If you're a sorcerer when you start off, it's gonna be less taxing on your psychological stamina to kill enemies, because you're gonna be able to just literally just push a button and you'll kill an enemy, and you'll get a lot of souls that way. You're gonna really rack up a lot of souls, and you want your soul grind to be as easy as possible. You don't want to really have to go through hell to get, you know, souls. You don't really want to have to go through a lot of hell to just to play the game. You know, you want it to be as easy as possible. That way you'll have more longevity with your willingness to play the game. You know, it won't just play for 2 hours, go through hell, and then be like, okay, I'm done. You know, you might play longer if it's not so bad on you. And obviously challenging times will come, but if you can make anything easier on yourself, I tend to like to go that route. Now, Soul Magic is very good. Soul Magic is very good. Typically, you're going to want to have like for example, I got like literally, well, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. I got 45 Soul Spears. So if I want to kill the Giant Lord with Soul Spears, I can just use straight Soul Spears. If I want to push a bunch of enemies and kill them all with Soul Spears, I can. It just depends on what area of the game I'm going through. But to be honest with you, I am still kind of experimenting. I mean, there's just so many variables in this game. But the fundamental that I do use is a Dark Dragon Tooth. That has always been my fundamental. Do I experiment? Absolutely. Like recently I made these 2 I'll show you what I'm talking about. These two dark infused chaos blades. One's at +5, one's at +4. I got enough stats to power stance them. But the thing is like these drain a lot of stamina. I actually have enough stamina to do a third swipe. Are you serious? I didn't always used to have that. And I noticed they do a lot of damage on that second swipe. They do a lot. So I can do 3 swipes now. That's crazy. That is absolutely ludicrous. But these hit very hard. But you also want to consider like the speed at which you can put out attacks. That speed will really make a big difference if you're trying to go for a melt. So I kind of experiment. But I mean, that's pretty much my build, to be honest with you. I mean, pretty much. I kind of experiment around, play around. This game has a lot of tinkering you can do. A lot of tinkering. Because the reason why that is because whoever developed this game, they allow you to buff infused weapons. And then, you know, weapons have a bunch of properties. They have a bunch of parameter bonuses. There's a lot of different combinations you can do. Like, you can literally power stance anything you want in this game. I could power stance a falcon sword and a chaos blade, and I can fight with these if I want to. It makes no sense how much creativity you can get and replayability out of this game. But, I mean, that's about it, bro. Dark is pretty strong. That's what I'd be rocking with. I started off as a sorcerer, and then by the time I got to the Giant Lord, I had made sure to stack up a lot of intelligence and atonement, even at like level 100. I was mainly built sorcery. And I had minimal stats in strength and dex. And what I mainly used forever was the... Where is it? Hold up. Let me see if I can find it for one. This sucker right here, man, this was my pride and joy. This axe right here was my pride and joy because as a sorcerer, I wasn't building in strength or dexterity at all. So what I did is I infused this weapon with lightning, and this got me through so much hell. This helped me push through a lot. And by the time I got to the Giant Lord and I was able to farm souls, I just ascended in levels. Just ascended. I'm currently level 390, and I could probably get to a higher level than that. When I was on the Xbox 360, I was much higher than this. This is nothing in comparison to Xbox 360 glory days, but that's about it, man. That's about it, bro. You take care, man. That'll be it for the video. Later.